Yes, people, what is going on? Hope you are all good. Chelsea back into the top four. Well, we were already in the top four, but now we're further into the top four. What a win against West Ham yesterday. It was absolutely superb. Well, I say yesterday, for me, it's like 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. I'm filming this late at night. Up for yesterday for you guys. It's a very big win for us. It really is. And I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was obviously a good enough result. I missed it, unfortunately. I've been at work. I've done my hammy in as well, which is absolutely killer. But an absolutely brilliant win for us, a really important win. And it's one of those ones of getting the job done. It may not have been necessarily orthodox or in the right way, but we got the job done. We picked up 3 points, and that's what matters right now. To be honest with you, I've just looked at the table and seen what's going on, and knowing how tough our fixture list is, the Tuesday game against Brighton, especially after 3 points against West Ham, we could have been, 3 points ahead of them outright, and then another 2 ahead of them if we would have gone and got something against 3 points against Brighton. And maybe that comes back to bite us on the arse, but we're not going to go too much into that right now. Let's talk about the game at hand. And we're going to start with the goal. We're going to start with the goal, and we're going to talk about that. I've watched the highlights. I've seen some sort of extensive bits and bobs. It's late. I've seen Match of the Day and what they've had to say with it. Seen a little bit more of the game. The annoying thing is, and I saw an ESPN thing, and I completely agree with it, is I look at this Chelsea team at the moment, and I always look at it and think, I want more. I just want a little bit more. I'm not saying, it's got to go, we've got to go and win 5-0 every week. But, the second goal would have really killed this game off. And obviously we did get the first one. And it come from Timo Werner, of all people. Werner had 3 chances really in the game. Buried one of them. Should have buried the last one, and the first one, people say it's a bad miss. I think it's quite a hard one to control, but you can see the logic of what he was trying to do. But Alan Shearer said it. Alan Shearer said it on Match of the Day, and I completely agree with it. The thing with Timo Werner is he doesn't get annoyed. The missed a chance. I'm pissed off at this. Just goes in, gets on with it, and makes sure that he constantly finds himself in these positions to score goals. And I know a lot of people. Actually, let's talk about very quickly the lineup before I go into the goal. The lineup. A lot of people, me included, I looked at it and went, that's a bit strange. The thing for me that was a bit strange was Dave playing right wing back. Very defensive minded, I thought, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not too sure. The set pieces, which, West Ham are very good at them, played into a factor, of course, and you have to think about the game against Real Madrid. But I looked at it and still went, I'm not too sure about that. And I think a lot of people had the same thing with Timo Werner. Playing against a team that would probably play a low block against us. I didn't necessarily think they would. I thought they actually might try and come out of the gates and blow us out of the water almost. And, like they've done in previous weeks, just basically not bottle a 3-goal lead or a 2-goal lead or whatever. But if they can cause themselves their own problems, then it's more likely to happen. So I didn't think they were going to play a particularly low block, but I can understand why people's kind of opinions would be, we've got to think about playing a low block and with Timo Werner. Is that the right thing to do? I'm not too sure. Timo Werner, I think, and I really do like Timo. I know he hasn't necessarily hit the ground running. I know he hasn't been fantastic, and he definitely should be doing more. But I love the work rate, and I love the energy that he gets in terms of getting involved. He's getting assists, he's causing problems, and he's making opposition think about where he is all the time, which, for someone, if he is completely shot of confidence, and we'll come on to a little bit more in a moment, he is completely shot of confidence, but doing the things that he does, putting his name about there. Where's Timo Werner? What's going on? He's running over here. He's so fast. We've got to think about the ball over the top. Those just little things. It's a really nice threat to have to your team. And one of the major problems I've got with certain ways that Chelsea play at the moment is I find it's very predictable and very kind of it's not continuous, I suppose. I suppose it is. I suppose it is almost continuous. Maybe not the best word for it, but it's continuous in terms of that's the way they're going to play. That's the way they're going to play. That's the way they're going to play. And sometimes you need to just have that moment of bang. Now we're going to go. Now we're going to go what we're doing. Going to go and do. And we played Mourinho in the first season second season back after we won the league. There we are. Season we won the league, 2014-15, we had a different way of playing. It was going to be that we keep the ball and we move it around and we defend basically off our own, off our own accord, and we caused problems. But then we had players that had moments of magic in their locker. Fabregas, great passes. Hazard, little jinking runs, darting all over the place. Costa that could score out of absolutely nowhere. We had these players and these big moments, and they were like, yes, wow. And I kind of feel like Chelsea have been lacking that a bit at the moment. And Timo Werner is one of the only players that I look at and think he offers that thing that is so, so undefendable that he has to be in and around the squad every single week pretty much. And not starting, but in and around the squad every single week because oh shit, Timo Werner's league, kind of lurking around. That's what I want to kind of see on a weekly basis. Because we're not necessarily creating goals from midfield, which is okay as long as other people are doing it, but maybe they aren't in the same way that they could. Again, there's a lot of chop and change in. Hakim Ziyech has got this great left foot, which people have to consider and think about, but it's quite easy to play against because you just show him outside all the time and he's not going to do anything. But that's just a different thing for a whole other time. Timo Werner's goal, let's talk about it. Timo Werner doesn't actually control the ball that well in terms of the original touch, but he gets the ball, I think it was to Jorginho, and then Jorginho gets it out to Chilwell. Chilwell going forward is a really nice player, and we haven't seen enough of it, especially under Lampard and early stage of Thomas Tuchel. He just looks a bit kind of scared and timid to go forward, and now that he is going forward and he's producing a pass like that, he put it in a real corridor of uncertainty. I think it was Souček, and I can't remember who the other one was. Both of them did not want to go for it. I think it might have been Diop. Both people didn't want to go for it, and they basically kind of both left it, or they both kind of half stuck a foot out at it. And then it finds its way to Timo Werner, who's in the right place at the right time. One touch finish, just pass it into the back of the net. It's not the best finish in the world, but it's what wins the game. It's that little moment of magic or that little moment of intelligence, I suppose. Because let's be honest with ourselves, we did dominate this game largely. But West Ham did have their, what seemed to me like a 35 minute spell, where they were actually the better team, basically after half time. The red card we'll come on to in a little moment, but the big thing for me about Timo Werner, his confidence is shot. He's always putting himself in and around the right places, which I love to see. I completely do. And people are saying, oh, we need to replace him with this, and he needs to go, and this and that and that. I saw that Tammy Abraham came on. I don't know what happened, or I didn't see anything other than the header at the end. So I'm going to assume he didn't have that massive an impact. Maybe the ball slightly overhit. I don't know. I'm not going to go grill him too much. But that's the kind of player, Timo Werner, that you can bring off the bench, even if it is, even if Chelsea do go and sign Lukaku or Haaland or someone in the summer for a big fee. If you want to bring Timo Werner off the bench, it's not that bad. It's not like, oh my God, did we not bring on Timo? It's a good player to bring off the bench. And sometimes I think with Tammy a little bit, again, it's one chance yesterday, but you can see there's not necessarily a lot of confidence around him. But in terms of Timo Werner, they're trying to have this mentality change. And I don't know why. It's probably because one of them's been bought for 50 million and one of them is an academy product. But it's just, he's definitely useful. And I see a lot of people criticise Timo Werner all the time. Same way Tammy Abraham is useful as well. Please don't get me wrong. But I just want to see Timo get supported. If at the end of next season it's a complete write-off, then fair enough. I'll be the first one. I'll hold my hands up. But for right now, we've got a lot of games coming up, and he's going to be very useful for this year and for next year as well, when we're going to be challenging in the Champions League, not this Super League shite, and also on the league front as well. He's going to be a very important player for us, and I really like Timo Werner, so I want to give him a mass amount of praise. Obviously, he's got his goal. He should have done better with the second one, the third one. The first one was the kind of weird over the bar thing, but he definitely should be doing better from the Mason Mount follow-up. That kills the game. That's game over. That's done and dusted. And I think a lot of people will look at it and go 2-0 and go, yeah, Chelsea just done a job. Where at the moment it was like, oh, Chelsea were a little bit, kind of lucky to get that one. Or Chelsea didn't think about this, or Chelsea didn't think about that. And that's what I want to avoid. It's a statement of intent. It's the constant like, oh, we're going to come up and we're going to play against you today. We're going to come out and we're going to play against you today. Well, last night for you, for me, 4 hours ago, it's a very different game. It's not the same thing, It's just a case of, oh, well, we did this, and it won us the game. But Real Madrid are going to look at it. They drew to Betis, which is Real Betis, which was quite nice. But if they'd have gone and whacked them and then seen that we luckily beat West Ham 1-0, people go, oh, okay, well, Chelsea, they're not in a better confidence at the moment. And it's just about how other people perceive you and look at you, which is something I want to get more in Chelsea's favour, because we did it against Palace. We scored 4, and everyone went, oh shit, they can score goals now. And in the last couple of weeks, we've just stopped that, which is a bit stupid. It's kind of almost feel like we've undone the hard work that we did. But, maybe hopefully that changes over time. But let's forget about that for now. Let's talk about the red card. For me, it's a red. I'll be honest with you, for me it's a red. And it's not because, oh, he got sent off for kicking a ball, like I've seen Ian Wright and Gary Lineker and a few other people say this evening. Say about, oh yeah, well he can't do this and he can't do that, it's ridiculous, and he can't do that, oh well, it's not football anymore. He does go high. Like, yeah, fine, he gets the ball, he clears it through, fine. But he does actually endanger Ben Chilwell's knee. That's where I've got a problem with it. It isn't necessarily reckless, but could it have caused harm to an opponent? Hell yes. Now, the different one you could say about Antonio Rudiger, for me, again, I would have looked at it. The fact that VAR didn't look at it is where I have a problem. You know, even I'll accept that. But with the one with Tony Rudiger, he hits him high. That's not a leg breaker. That's not a leg breaker. Where the force that he went in with, it's knee height. You've seen people get done with them. You've seen people get done with them, and that's modern day football for you. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for me, he gets the ball. He gets the ball, play on, carry on, and get on with it. But in modern day rules, in modern day football, I mean, that's what you're asking for. Thiago Silva got sent off a couple of weeks ago against West Brom in that shambles of a game. He put a foot in, he got the man afterwards, sent off. Yellow card. Again, yellow card, maybe, fine. But to get the difference between Rudiger and then the difference between Thiago Silva and then Chilwell's one, it's all very... There's no consistency. There's no consistency at all. And this is the thing for me about VAR. I keep saying this is the thing. For me, for VAR, there is no consistency with it at all. And I don't like the fact that they've got referees at Stockley Park that are making these decisions and whatever. For me, it should just be the referee. It's not a case of, we think he should get sent off for this. It's just a case of, can you please show me that frame? They essentially should get media people to do it. Can you show me all the angles you've got of that tackle? And the referee should be able to sit there and go, yeah, that's fine in that one. Nothing wrong with that one. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I can see that. Studs up. It would just get rid of all this grey area and crap around it, honestly. But it's not for the better of the game anymore. It's really not. And sometimes I think a lot of people would prefer this if certain decisions were wrong, rather than just this constant unknowing of who's making the decision, who's not, and what the hell's going on with VAR. Because it was great at a point, and I'm just looking at above me here behind the camera. I've got a Russia World Cup 2018, and I remember I think it was the Confederations Cup where it was used before that. It worked fine. You know, people were having a little bit of a discussion, and it was new, but it was okay. But now in the Premier League, it just seems that every single week we're talking about VAR with lines, it being slowed down, and people have all got debates with it. I've just had enough of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? I want to focus on the football. But maybe I'm going off on a different tangent. It's a massive win for Chelsea. Yesterday. It's a massive win, and I don't. It's not one that really filled me with confidence, but I know it's one that's a big one. And essentially, we can now afford to drop points once in the last 5 games. But I think we need to be pretty much perfect. I do think we need to be pretty much perfect, because West Ham's run-in is pretty simple. And I think we've also got Everton have got a game in hand. They play Villa, so that might be a 50-50 one. And I think Man United play Liverpool. There's a few big games coming up in terms of people that could actually drop points against each other. But the realism is, especially also with Tottenham as well, they've got a pretty simplistic run-in, is we have got to focus on ourselves. And our last 5 games are Fulham next week, which we have to win. I don't care, we have to win it. Same way we should have beaten Brighton, but we didn't. Have to beat Fulham regardless. If that's the one that sends them down, then so bloody be it. I don't know what maths are technically and mathematically. I know Burnley are playing against Wolves, so I'd probably assume it would be somewhere in and around the right margin. Anyway, that's a regardless thing. I think we have to beat Fulham. I don't necessarily think we have to beat Man City, but then you have to win the last 3 against Arsenal, Leicester and Villa. Yeah, it's annoying. Even if you could take a draw against Leicester, it stops them potentially, or I don't know, but I think you have to win. I think you have to win all of them. Honestly, you can afford to drop points in one. It depends on who you drop the points against. But I mean, Arsenal aren't going to do anything against us. Villa aren't going to do anything against us. Leicester are the one that can. That's the one we have to win absolutely categorically. Because let's be honest, if we want to drag people into a race, Leicester are the only one that's going to get dragged into it now. If you're the one that it's going to be us or the rest, or us and Leicester or the rest, now we're talking. That's no more going in our favour. But I don't know, this is just a 15-odd minute video, just me kind of giving my review and my thoughts about the game yesterday. It was a good win. You know, it was a good win, and it's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it's enough. So I'm quite happy and quite content. Yeah, I hope you guys are as well with this video. Thanks for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. And this should be up about lunchtime, so let me know if I've done it right or not. Whack it in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.